And I'm Scott.
And together we are Backyard Musings broadcasting. Well, I'm in Utah still.
And I'm in Apple Valley. And if I'm yelling, it's because Steve doesn't like my iPad and the sound. And we're the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, let us know how the sound is. Scott is in denial. He denial is not a river. And let us know in the comments. Okay. Sometimes scientific research feels a lot like solving a mystery. Scientists head into the field with a clear goal and a solid hypothesis. But when the data reveals something surprising, that's when the real detective work begins. This is exactly what happened to a team from the University of Colorado Boulder during a recent field study in rural Oklahoma. They were using a state-of-the-art instrument to track how tiny particles form and grow in the air. But instead of just collecting expected data, they uncovered something completely new. The first ever airborne detection of medium chain chlorinated paraffins, MCCPs or MCCPs, a kind of toxic organic pollutant in the Western Hemisphere. The team's findings, this is alarming, the team's findings were published in ACS Environmental Au on June 5th, 2025. Would you like to know more?
Well, whether you are or you aren't, we're going to tell you about it. MCCPs are currently under consideration for regulation by the Stockholm Convention, a global treaty to protect human health from long-standing and widespread chemicals. While the toxic pollutants have been measured in Antarctica and Asia, researchers haven't been sure how to document them in the Western Hemisphere's atmosphere until now.
Okay, so they've been measured. I thought, so this is new to the United States. Okay. I mean, what else are we going to find that's out there that we don't know about? MCCPs are used in fluids for metalworking and in the construction of PVC and textiles. What the heck are those being shown up in Antarctica for? It's not like we make PVC there or textiles. They are often found in wastewater and as a result can end up in biosolid fertilizer, also called sewage sludge, which is created when liquid is removed from wastewater in a treatment plant. In Oklahoma, researchers suspect the MCCPs they identified came from biosolid fertilizer in the fields near where they set up their instruments.
Okay, MCCP's little cousins, short chain chlorinated paraffins, SCCPs, are currently regulated by the Stockholm Convention as well, and since 2009 by the EPA here in the United States. Regulation came after studies found that toxic pollutants, which travel far and last a long time in the atmosphere, were harmful to human health. But researchers hypothesized that the regulation of SCCPs may have increased MCCPs in the environment.
So the regulation of the SCCPs increase the MCCPs. That's crazy.
Yeah. So do you remember? It was probably about 40 years ago. Maybe not quite 40 years ago. There was this big scare about some kind of a toxin that was going to be used in polyvinyl chloride pipe, PVC pipe, and that was a major change from copper to galvanized to copper to PVC for water lines, like to your homes or in sprinkler systems or whatever. And it caused a big uproar. And now you don't hear anything more about it. I mean, I know they've changed a lot from PVC. They've been using other plastics, but that was a big deal. And I don't never remember. I mean, we never had a ban on it, so I don't know. Was it like use it at your own risk? Because everybody uses it. I'd be willing to bet in this valley alone, 90%, if not more, of the houses, their mains from the water main from the street to your house is majority PVC pipe.
Yeah, that's called blue pipe. It's what, like 12, 18 inches in diameter?
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, you're talking about the like C900, like the main water pipe, but the lateral from your house or from the main line to your house.
Oh, main line to the house. Okay.
Yeah, the lateral. The majority of that There's some HDPE and some other stuff that they've used, copper. Some guys use copper, but it's primarily PVC pipe.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just
Using a nitrate chemical ionization mass spectrometer, say that 3 times fast, which allows scientists to identify chemical compounds in the air. The team measured air at the agricultural site 24 hours a day for 1 month. As Katz cataloged the data, he documented the different isotopic patterns in the compounds. The compounds measured by the team had distinct patterns, and he noticed new patterns that he immediately identified as different from the known chemical compounds. With some additional research, he identified them as chlorinated paraffins found in MCCPs.
Katz says the makeup of MCCPs are similar to PFAS, long-lasting toxic chemicals that break down slowly over time, known as forever chemicals. Their presence in soils recently led the Oklahoma Senate to ban biosolid fertilizer. Okay. What did you use that for?
Now that researchers know how to measure MCCPs, the next step might be to measure the pollutants at different times throughout the year to understand how levels change each season. Many unknowns surrounding MCCPs remain, and there's much more to learn about their environmental impacts.
Quote, we identify them, but we still don't know exactly what they do when they are in the atmosphere, and they need to be investigated further, according to Katz. Go on with the quote. I think it's important that we continue to have governmental agencies that are capable of evaluating the science and regulating these chemicals as necessary for public health and safety. I would like to change that from governmental agencies to private sector agencies. Much more, it just seems like you get a much more thorough and on-time tests and studies from people that are, under a time limit or under the gun. The government doesn't work anything under the gun, right? It's like,
Right.
Oh, we'll get to it. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it tomorrow.
Or we got to put it in a committee, then we got to bid it out. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, anyway, that's just my whole thing on it. You turn it over to a private organization, let them do it. That way there's no government funding, there's no taxpayer funding. These people are self-funded, or they're funded through some other way, but it's not on the taxpayer. I mean, I get it. It's an important thing. We don't want, what was it called? Biosludge, or what is it called? What's that stuff called? Biosolid fertilizer. Okay. That doesn't sound good anyway when you describe it as sludge, but anyway, that's all my only take on it, but good story.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.